Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, get this. What if one of the biggest threats to your brain's future could be tackled by something you already check at your yearly physical? A really fascinating new study has found a powerful link between cholesterol and your risk of dementia, and honestly, it could completely change how we think about brain health.
So, to really get why this new research is such a potential game changer, we first have to understand the sheer scale of the challenge we're facing. Let's talk about dementia's growing shadow.
Just a few years ago, back in 2020, over 55 million people around the world were living with dementia. To put that number in perspective, that's more than the entire population of Spain. Every single one of those numbers represents a person, a family, a community, all grappling with this condition.
And it's not slowing down. The forecast is pretty alarming, actually. By 2030, and that's not far off, that number is projected to swell to 78 million. This crazy fast increase is exactly why the search for ways to prevent this isn't just important, it is incredibly urgent.
And that leads us to the big question, right? Current treatments can only really slow dementia down. They can't cure it. So our best hope, our biggest weapon, is prevention. How can we fight back before it even gets a foothold?
Well, this is where things start to get really hopeful. A brand new, groundbreaking study has uncovered a connection that might just change our entire strategy for defending the brain.
Researchers were digging through health data from over 1 million people. They were looking for what are called modifiable risk factors, basically things we can actually change that have a big impact on dementia. And they zeroed in on something many of us get checked every year. Yup, your cholesterol, that same number we've been tracking for decades to prevent heart attacks and strokes, it seems to be deeply, deeply connected to the health of our brains too. This really changes the conversation. Managing your cholesterol is now a form of brain care.
And the potential here is just staggering. The study found that a lifelong, even modest, lowering of cholesterol could slash dementia risk by up to 80%. I mean, 80%. That number alone just shows you the incredible power of starting early and staying consistent. Okay, so you might be wondering, how on earth did they figure this out without, tracking people for 80 years? Well, they used a really clever method, a sort of natural experiment that let them see the long-term effects of lower cholesterol.
The secret is actually in our DNA. See, some people are just born with these little differences, genetic variants, that naturally keep their cholesterol levels lower their entire lives. You could say they basically won the genetic lottery for heart health. So by studying these lucky individuals, scientists could see what a whole lifetime of healthier cholesterol levels does to the brain, all without running an impossibly long clinical trial. It's an amazing shortcut that gives us a glimpse into the long-term benefits.
And the study's lead author really drives this point home. Because these genetic advantages are there from birth, the findings strongly suggest that the real power isn't in a quick fix later in life, but in early and sustained prevention, long before any symptoms might appear. Now, of course, a finding this big doesn't exist in a vacuum, so let's take a look at how other experts are weighing in and putting all of this into a broader medical context. So experts are kind of looking at this from a couple of angles. On one side, you have Dr. Peter Glebus, who calls this compelling evidence that directly connects heart and brain health. But then you have Dr. Yuming Ni, who thinks the link might be more indirect. He suggests that lower cholesterol leads to healthier blood vessels, which means better blood flow to the brain. But you know what? Either way you slice it, they both come to the same powerful conclusion. Managing your cholesterol is absolutely critical.
All right, so let's pull all this together. What does this research actually mean for you, for me, for our health and our future?
You've probably heard this saying before, but this study basically screams it from the rooftops. It provides some of the strongest evidence we've ever seen for this simple but profound idea. What's good for the heart is good for the brain. It's all connected.
So this is all really empowering stuff. The big takeaway is that we now have to think of cholesterol as a brain health issue, not just a heart health one. And the earlier we start, the better. It shows us we have real control through things like diet and exercise, and it adds even more weight to the argument for cholesterol-lowering drugs like statins when a doctor prescribes them. But really, the most important first step is just talking to your doctor. Ask them what your risks are and what it means for your brain's future.
So, we want to leave you with this final thought. Knowing that you have this power to influence your long-term brain health, what's one small, manageable step you can take, maybe starting today? That's the question this incredible research empowers all of us to ask. Thanks for watching.